Thank you.
Well, Taoiseach, I agree with you that we need clarity, but you have not been clear. And there is very, very deep concern at reports that the Garda Siochana Ombudsman Office was targeted. That's the report, as part of a sophisticated surveillance operation, allegedly using high-level technology. Now, your response to this yesterday was very disappointing, as was the government's response to the whistleblower allegations. And the important question that people have in relation to this current scandal is, was the GSOC bugged? And if so, by whom? And there's no point in blaming the Garda Ombudsman Office as you did yesterday. That's just not good enough, Taoiseach. And there clearly is a breakdown of trust between that office, between the Garda Commissioner and the Minister of Justice. But the reality is that the Ombudsman Office has been undermined since it was established, and its work has been frustrated, particularly during the public interest investigation into the handling of informers arising from the Ciaran Boylan affair. And I agree with you also that citizens need to trust public agencies and to know that they're in a position to carry out their work without being compromised, particularly a body, an agency which has the onerous responsibility of Garda oversight. So I put the questions again, and that's what people out there are talking about. Was the GSOC bugged? And if so, who did it? Now, you weren't clear about that, so it begs the question then, given the absence of trust between these three important entities, the GSOC, the Garda Commissioner, and incidentally, there's no oversight by the GSOC of the Garda Commissioner. And given the breakdown of trust with the Minister of Justice, isn't it clear that an independent inquiry would resolve these matters in an urgent way, and that would then deal with the issue of public confidence that you have expressed a concern about?
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Adams. You make the point about newspaper reports that the Garda Ombudsman's Office was the subject of sophisticated surveillance. The report was published on the 9th of February in the Sunday newspaper, claiming that the GSOC had been the subject of unlawful surveillance of a sophisticated nature. The Minister received a briefing on this yesterday by the Chairman of the GSOC. The Chairman of the GSOC said publicly that he regretted that the GSOC had made a difficult decision not to inform the Minister, as is required under the law in Section 80, subsection 5 of the 2005 Garda Siochana Act. The Chairman himself made that perfectly clear. The issue arose following a sweep which was conducted in September of last year at the GSOC's offices. That sweep was not dictated by any particular issue, but was part of a process of having a regular sweep on an office like that. And the Minister for Justice, as you're aware, was informed yesterday that the GSOC, following the sweep and the investigation by the company that they chose to do that, concluded that no definitive evidence of unauthorised technical or electronic surveillance of their office was found. So if you ask me, was the office bugged? What I'm saying to you in the words of the GSOC, that they found, following the investigation, no evidence of sophisticated evidence of unauthorised technical or electronic surveillance of their office was found. I think that's pretty clear. Now, it's important, Deputy Adams, and you're well aware of this yourself, that the citizens of the country need to have confidence in the integrity of the GSOC, and that's why the Minister for Justice will make a statement here on a more detailed way, dealing with the technical issues that were raised in the investigation and of the discussions that he had with the Chairman of the GSOC yesterday. And as he indicated to Deputy Martin, the GSOC are before the Committee on Petitions and Oversight tomorrow in public forum, and I would expect that the the matters that need to be addressed insofar as giving absolute clarity about this fundamentally important office is concerned will be given. I think that's in the interest of everybody. Deputy Martin was looking for a public inquiry tomorrow. I think it's important that the GSOC, which has responsibility for oversight of the Gardaí, is fully entitled to give its report and to give its engagement with the Oireachtas Commission. I might point out for you as well, Deputy Adams, the government do not have the report that was provided for the GSOC by the company who carried out the investigation. The government are not entitled to that report because the GSOC is independent, but the Minister for Justice has requested the report, and obviously, if that's provided, be able to be able to deal with the facts as presented to GSOC by the company.
Deputy Adams.
Well, Taoiseach, Sinn Féin also supports the call for a fully independent inquiry without delay into these matters. And part of the difficulty is this. You see, yesterday, and I challenged you just in my first question, you inaccurately quoted Section 80, subsection 5 of the Garda Siochana Act, and you did it again here. See, whatever about whether the Ombudsman was right or wrong to report it to the Minister, he is not entitled to. He's not bound to. It says, and I quote, the Ombudsman Commission may make any other reports that it considers appropriate for drawing to the Minister's attention matters that have come to its notice. So he may. The Ombudsman Office may or may not. Now, the question then is, obviously, he didn't do it. So why didn't he do it? And that's why we need an independent element to this to look at all of these issues. You quoted what could be described as a Jesuitical statement about whether the office was or was not bugged. Was it found that an unauthorised system was in place which would have left the GSOC offices vulnerable to bugging? Because I've read all of these reports in this, and it depends just exactly on how you interpret it. They were concerned enough to bring in someone from outside the state to look at this. They were concerned enough at the outcome of that not to report it to the Commissioner or to the Minister. Now, the Ombudsman Commission is appointed by the President, and that's quite rightly so. But following, and if you missed this, Taoiseach, you missed it all, following on the penalty points debacle, the whistleblowers controversy, doesn't this current scandal highlight the worrying level of distrust between the GSOC, the Garda Commissioner, and the Minister for Justice? So I come back and ask, just straight out, will the government establish? Now, if you're not going to do it, just tell us, say no. But will the government, why not? You promised transparency in how the government does its business. You said it would be done differently from your predecessors. So why don't you just put in place a fully independent inquiry to expeditiously look at these matters and then report back to the Oireachtas?
Thank you. Taoiseach.
See, Deputy Adams, I respect absolutely GSOC, and I think it's important that the GSOC would have every opportunity to state for the record in public session, and that the Chairman and the members of the Board of the Commission are absolutely satisfied with the independence and the integrity of the way that they are entitled to do their business. Now, I can't direct them to do that. It's important that that government here and that the people understand the relationship between the Gardaí on the one hand and the GSOC, which is oversight for Gardaí on the other. So I think without any talk of independent inquiries, it's important for the GSOC, when it goes before the Oireachtas Committee, to be able to outline the degree of satisfaction that it has in the running of its own affairs. Now, in their own statement yesterday, They say GSOC is satisfied that its databases were not compromised. And since the investigation concluded, they say, we've been working to review and to enhance our security systems in the light of what the investigation revealed. The Commission decided to discontinue the investigation on the basis that no further action was necessary or reasonably practicable. So, in the sense, that's the statement from the GSOC. And obviously, the matters referred to by the deputy, the section that I referred to and that you quoted from there means that the GSOC are entitled of their own initiative to report. They're entitled to report of their own initiative under the law to the Minister for Justice of the day. And in their statement yesterday, they say, we did not wish to point fingers unnecessarily, and we did not believe that widespread reporting would be conducive to public confidence. We took the decision not to report in good faith, and we regret that now. And this was communicated to the Minister for Justice and Equality by the Chairman. That is the independent body with oversight responsibility for the Garda, and that's their statement. They say that there was no evidence of its databases being compromised, that they made the decision not to report in good faith. They regret that decision, and they communicated that to the Minister for Justice. So the balance between the Gardaí and the GSOC is very important here, and I do hope that the clarity that is necessary can be furnished at the open hearings of the Oireachtas Commission report tomorrow. So, from that point of view, the Minister for Justice will speak in some further detail after the order of business today, Ciaran Boylan.
Thank you.